Hello, welcome to Muthu DevHub. Based on your subscriber request, today we are going to learn for each loop in C WinForms. You will see how to loop through collections and controls easily with a simple practical examples. In the previous video, we learned the for loop. The for loop will be useful when you know the count in advance how many times the loop should run. At that time, you can go for loop. What is for each loop? The for each loop is a way to go through every item in a collection like arrays, lists, dictionaries, or even form controls in WinForms. So you no need to manage counters like in a for loop. Let me open my Visual Studio 2026. You can access your existing project or solution from the recent history, or you can also access from the open a project or solution. I use to access from the recent history. Just click on it. Great. My solution loaded successfully. If you want to learn how to create a new project, please look at my previous videos. Those links are provided in the description. In the previous video, we created a new form, which is looping examples form. I will open it. In the previous videos, I strongly recommended to go for a shortcut keys. If you want to go to a code behind logic, what is a shortcut key? Please provide a comment if you know the answer. Press F7. Great. If you want to go back to your designer view, what is the shortcut key? Press Shift F7. Nice. Now we will come back to our for each loop. We are going to have one more button for each loop in the existing form. I want similar kind of for loop button, but this time I want for each button. The best way is you have to duplicate it. You should not go and drag and drop. Why I am telling you should not go and drag and drop? I will explain it later. Now I am going to make a duplicate control. How to duplicate it? There are multiple ways. You can use Control C to copy and Control V to paste. See, I duplicated. Another way, you can select the control, press Control key and using the mouse click, drag and drop. Also one of the best way to create a duplicate control. Now, what is the benefit of duplicating control? Please provide a comment. See here, we are creating a new button control from the toolbox, which does not have any properties. We have to manually go and redefine all the properties again. But when you are duplicating the controls, you no need to redefine the properties mostly. See, the same properties, what I defined the font size already applicable to my new controls. So I no need to go redefine all the properties. With minimum of change, what I can do, simply I can define my text, which is for each loop. Then you have to define a name property. There is the name property here, button for each loop. That's it. Rest of the properties, I don't want to define the font size because the font size already copied from for loop, which is very nice feature, right? So my strong recommendation is if you want to create another button, better you can use duplicate control instead of go and create a toolbox unless you want to define a complete different properties to the new button. Then you can drag and drop from toolbox. It all depends on the project requirements. But if you are a beginner, I always strongly recommend you go drag and drop. If you drag and drop, at least you will learn something from the properties. You can recall how to define a font size and how to define the fore color. At least you have some memory how to define the fore color and what is image. You can add some image on the button. You will familiarize about the properties. Nice. We will come back to our for each. Please look at my example. We have a collection of student names and stored in a array. Students is a array. How do you confirm it's array? Because we indicating array. And this will be stored as a string array. How do you confirm string array? We declare the data type string. Great. So we assume we have a collection of student names inside a variable students. Nice. In the next line, what we do, we are using for each loop. If you declare for each, CSharp understands, okay, we are going to use for each here. Then it will automatically expect some syntax. What is the syntax of for each? You need to define your data type. Here I am declaring where. Then we are defining the syntax. This is the current item. You can define any name. It's not mandatory always put student. You can put any name. Even you can put even your own name. Anything you can put. But my strong recommendation is if you want to be a professional developer, always put some meaningful name so that other developers can understand easily what is this about. If you don't put relevant names here, then other developers very hard to understand what is this for each loop about. So we put a relevant name, we put a student, which is the current item of the collection. Then in is a keyword in C#, then students. Students is a collection here. This is called collection. In our example, where is a collection? Students is a collection. This contains list of student names which stored as a students array. So we called this is a collection. We are going to add the student name inside our list box. Where is the list box? In this list box. And what is this? This is the string interpolation in C#. This is one of the advanced feature in C#. Using the string interpolation, you can print your constant string along with the dynamic variable, which is for readability. Okay, now we will come back here. I hope now you understood what we did here. In summary, I can say that we have a list of students' name and stored inside the students array variable, and we iterate this students array using the for each and adding the student name inside the list view here. So we are finally, what is the expected result? We are going to print all the names here in the list box. Don't worry, I will explain again during the debugging. Now let's debug it. I run the application. I'm going to press for each now. Cursor meets here. If you want to learn about the debugging, please look at my previous video. I have explained clearly. I provided the link in the description. Now I press F10, mouse over to students. Great. You can see the student names stored inside the students array variable. This is called collection because students have more than one items. Then what is the for each? For each is used to iterate the statement from the collection. Great. Names are ready now. We are going to press F11. Press F11. You can see all the statements step by step. I press F11 again. First, what is happening here? When the cursor comes to for each, first it meets the collection. These are all the collection. Then when you press F11, it comes inside here. It comes in. Next, only it comes to the current item. As of now, student is null because I didn't execute. If you want to execute, you need to press F11. Now student has some data. This is called current item. You got it? Now you can understand the C# syntax for each. Students is a collection which contains more than one item. Next, this is the current item of the collection. So now we are having current item which is alive. See, we are reading the first item here. That's why we called current item. Then this where is a data type. We are declaring what kind of data we are going to receive in the current item. I press F11, mouse over to the student. Alice is going to add as a student name in this list box. Press F11, student name added to the list box. How do you confirm whether the name added successfully to the list box? Mouse over to the items, expand it. See here, count is 1. You can also expand result view. The student name Alice. Nice. We added one item. Next, press F11. I strongly recommend to go for F11 instead of F10 so that you can understand how the workflow happen in for each loop. Now, again, it's reading from the collection. After that, the cursor comes to current item. Nice. So we added one student name in the list box. Press F11. Still, the current name is not updated because you have to press F11. Then only the statement will be executed. Press F11 or F10. I press F11. Now you can mouse over to the student, which is Muthu. So now we are reading the second item from the collection of students. What is the second item in the students collection? Muthu. Please look at here. This is called current item. With the help of for each, we are iterating the statements from the collection. Now you can mouse over to the student Muthu and not yet adding to the list box because I didn't press F10 or F11. If you see such kind of symbol, what is happening? Cursor is not yet executed. Once you press F10 or F11, then only you can see the updated result. I press F10. Now you can mouse over to the items, expand it. See, second item added successfully. Now I continue F11, F11, still not yet updated because the cursor still waiting only, not yet executed. F11. Now mouse over to the student Charlie. Great. Which is the third item from the collection. You got it? Why we called this is the current item and why we called this is the collection. I continue to execute. Mouse over to the student Charlie. Execute. Press F10. Mouse over to the items. Expand the results view. Charlie. Added successfully. I press F11, F11, F11. Now you see we are reading the fourth item from the collection. What is the fourth item from the collection? Diana. Nice. F11, Diana. F11. Now mouse over to the items. Expand to the results view. Diana. Press F11, F11, expand to student. We are reading the fifth item from the collection. Now the current item is Ethan. See here, this is the current item. Press F11, expand it, expand to the items. See here, 5 counts added successfully. Results view, we have added successfully. Everything added. Going to execute. You can see the magic now. I press F11. What is happening? Please provide the answer. Why I am asking this? We have 5 names and we already added here 5 names. Now what will be happening in the cursor if you press F11? The cursor automatically jumps from in to outside of the for loop. This is the thing you need to understand if you want to be a pro developer. After reading the for each loop, where the cursor goes, it comes outside of the for each loop. Great. Now I press continue. See here, we are seeing the student name, what we added here. This is the nice feature from for each loop. In summary, for each is simple, practical, and works with arrays, lists, or form controls. You can loop through items to disable controls, clear fields, or process list box items, all with clean code. Why it is a clean code? We are not playing with any index positions. Simply, we are getting a item from the collections and we are performing relevant actions. No incremental position handling array positions, nothing at all. Its readability, it is good for beginners as well. At the same time, we also need to know in which situation we do not use for each loop. I will explain this in the upcoming video. In the upcoming video, I plan to provide a comparison between for loop and for each loop. During that time, I will show you when to use for loop and when we have to use for each loop. That will give you a overall picture in which situation we need to go for loop and for each loops. I hope now you understood. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to ask me in the comments. I'm happy to assist at any time. Please like, subscribe and forward it to your friends if you like the channel. Thank you. Cheers. Bye bye.